trying to get this shit right. Right. I know it take a little minute, but you gon' have your time.
Boom. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, AK The Don. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Don Talk Podcast. I greatly appreciate you guys. All right, so again, I want to start getting right into it. Like, you guys should know who I am by now. If not, you got to go check out the other episodes, right? So, what I want to talk about today is your circle. Who are the people that are around you? What kind of people do you have around you, right? So I want to start by talking about something that I learned in college, and this is one of those things that really stuck with me throughout the whole time I was there. And I think I learned this like my sophomore or junior year of school. So one of my professors, Dr. D'Amico, he said, oh, excuse me, he said, there's four kinds of people in the world. And I want you guys to tell me which ones you think you are and which one you think is the optimal. So there's one person who takes their work seriously. No, they take themselves seriously, but not their work. That's the first one. They don't take their work seriously, but they take themselves very seriously. The second one is they don't take neither their work nor themselves seriously, so they don't take either one of the two seriously. There's the third one, which is they take their work seriously, but not themselves. And then there's the fourth one of they take both their work and themselves seriously. So, feel free to think about that and kind of really reflect on which one you think is ideal. So, okay, so there's that. That's what we're going to start with. For me, I want to be the person who takes their work seriously, but not themselves, right? Like, that's how I am as a person now, because when it comes to work and doing stuff like with this podcast, or like when it comes to a 9 to 5 or something, yo, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to handle my business. I'm going to do what I need to do 100%. Like, if you say, hey, can you do this? Boom, I'm going to get it done. If I have questions, I'm going to ask questions, but I'm going to get it done, right? So there's that. But myself, man, I joke about myself all the time. Like, I make fun of myself. Like, when my people, like my boys, like when they rag on me or whatever, like, I'm not getting offended. Some of the jokes I'll be like, all right, like y'all doing too much. But most of the time, like, I'm really like, bro, like, I'm laughing with them because it's funny. Because, like, there is some truth to it, but it's still like, man, like, why am I gonna sit up here and get upset about something? Like, you making a joke. I like to laugh at myself. I like to laugh in general. So, and again, like, this goes back to one of the other episodes that I put out. Like, man, you can't hold nothing against me because I'm so comfortable with making fun of myself. Like, I can joke about myself and be perfectly fine. Like, there's nothing, you can't hold nothing against me. I'm comfortable in my skin, and I love that for myself. So what I will say, is to really, really reflect on which one of those four you think you are. So, boom, on to the next part. So, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of people that you should have around you, but I think, to start off, some of the people that you want to have around you are, you want to have at least one or two people around you who are ahead of you. So, people you can learn from, people who have been either doing the game, like they've been in the game for a while, so they know a lot, or people who have done tons of research. You can also do tons of research, but like people who have already done the research and, they're looking to kind of give off that game to someone else, right? Like that's someone that you want to be around, because if they're willing to give game and you're open to receiving game, that's how you guys mesh, and then you can learn a lot from them. So, that's definitely one of the priorities in terms of like people you want to have around you. So to kind of go off of that, if like someone else that you might want to have around you is someone you can mentor. So there might be someone out there who's like, they're looking like they're a little lost and they need some sort of guidance. And even if it has, like me, I've been podcasting since 2019, but I'm really going to say that I started podcasting last year because all my episodes or most of my episodes before 2023 were all interviews, right? So, but then I switched it up and I kind of did it a little different. So, a lot of my episodes were just me and me talking about stuff that stuff that I've learned and all that. So, I feel like it's a rebrand of Don Talk Podcast in a sense, right? Because I was doing interviews before and then I wanted to keep doing it, but I feel like where I was going, like I wanted to get back to the original idea of the podcast, of starting the podcast, which was to talk about personal development, which was a big factor. And then, I just tied in creativity and now mental health. So, these are some of the things that I want to, learn about and talk to people about. So, yeah. So if you have someone, who is a little lost and you kind of want to help them along their journey and essentially like mentor them, that's someone else you can have around you, like someone you can kind of give game to, like especially if if you're getting game from someone and someone else in your field who's kind of just starting out, why wouldn't you want to give them that game that you got from them? Like it's all a chain, and it's like it's helping, like you're just helping out another person, like the next person, and you're paying it forward because then that person can help someone else, and it's like that one person that you helped it might really spread and stuff, and like your message can get across, like it could really spread like a wildfire. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's something that I enjoy because even though I know I won't change the world, like I can really spark the mind. Like I think Tupac said that, like, it's not the goal to change the world, but to spark the mind of someone who may, that's bigger than anything. So I could only reach a few people with my podcast, but someone else might see it and then they post it or whatever, and like, it like that reaches a ton more people. Like my message might hit different coming from someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like someone else might repost my message to their audience and be like, dang, like, and their audience loves it. So, it's all about stuff like that, but it's not about just, oh, like I want to reach as many people as I can. I want to do what I can. Yeah, I want to reach people, but at the same time, I know that that's not always how it works. So, yeah. Excuse me, y'all. I'm still working through this little cold I got. Like I feel like I'm a lot better. Right now it's like 20 degrees here in Boston, which is absolutely disgusting. I just came back from Vegas and it was beautiful because it was like 60, 50 degrees as their winter, and I was like, I live for that weather, to be honest. So, but back to what I was saying. So, people you want to have around you, people who are ahead of you, who know more, who've done research, and people who, are looking to be mentored and helped along their journey, looking for some assistance or guidance. So next up, to kind of go off of that as well, is you want to have people around you who are talking about a future, right? Like it's cool to reminisce on the past and stuff, like what you guys used to do, what you guys did and all that. That's cool. But yeah, I want to talk about my future. Like for me, I'm 26. I'm turning 27 this year. So it's like, man, I don't want to keep talking about the stuff I did in college or the stuff I did in high school. Like that's not me anymore. Like I learned a lot and grew from everything I've ever done. So for me to be stuck on the past is like, okay, I'm not growing if I'm still stuck in that mindset. So Yeah, I'm like, I'm planning for a future. I want to be in a position to where I'm, financially stable to provide for my future family that I want. I have to start saving up for a family. Like, if I want to get married and like do the wedding stuff, like that's all stuff that you have to take into account, which is one of my next points, just like set yourself up to be financially stable. Like these are the people who, you want people around you who either know about it or like have conversations about it. So it's like, you guys can figure out a way to essentially elevate. Like we have to be able to talk about, okay, like what are you doing for your future? How are you saving up? Like what are you doing? Like for me, I use Stash. That's why I put some of my money. Like money comes out um, weekly, and it's like that money goes into an account, and for me to like that's money that I'm not touching until I really need it, which is like I hope never, but like that's just money that I'm building up. So that's the way I'm preparing for my future. I'm becoming financially stable by using an investment platform, right? Or like just saving up. I don't need to go out as often, right? Like I don't need to go out and get drunk and stuff. Like I don't need to do that. I just want to be in a position where I feel comfortable enough to say, okay, I'm ready for this. Like I don't want to have a child and struggle to have a child. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So I would prefer to have a child and say, okay, like I'm financially ready to provide for this child so that we don't have to struggle. Because I feel like that's what a lot of us are doing. And, I feel like the rates of babies are going up. For me, I'm seeing a lot of people having babies. And something that I believe is like, are you actually ready for that baby? Again, this is none of my business, but it's still like, are you really in a position to provide for this child? Because this is a whole life, and for me, it doesn't make sense to bring a child into this world because you want a child. Like just because you want a child. If you're not financially ready to prepare to take care of that child, you should not be having kids. Because the price of Pampers, formula, all that stuff, I'm sure it's expensive as hell. And I do not have to worry about that because that is not in my plans. I mean, it is in my plans to have a kid, but it's not in my plans to struggle to afford those things for my child. Like the basic essentials for my child. I should not be struggling for that. I definitely want to, I know myself, like, I know for me, like, if I have a girl, I'm going to fold. If my daughter's like, hey, dad, can I get this? I'd be like, of course you can, princess. But I want to be in a position to where I can do that. Like, I shouldn't have to struggle wondering, damn, can I afford this? Like, can I? No, that's not cool. Like, why would I want to be in that position for my kids? I want to see I want to give my kids everything that they need so that they understand. So I'm creating a standard for them so that when it comes time for them to, start dating and like meet people, like they know what's unacceptable because I've already given them that life of not spoiled, but like giving that, like exposing them to a certain type of lifestyle. So not being a gold digger or whatever, but like, no, you shouldn't afford, like you shouldn't accept less because, you know, I don't know, like you should have a standard. And I don't know, I feel like that is a whole nother episode, and that can kind of get dicey what I'm talking about. That's a very thin line. But again, that's what podcasting is. Or what it's become, I'll say. So, some other people that you want to have in your corner are confidants, people you can talk to. Um, I feel like I have a couple confidants, right? Some that I might use more than others, just to kind of like anytime anything happens, that's my go-to person. And same for them. Like they can come to me and talk to me about whatever because we've established that bond, and I feel comfortable enough with them to talk about whatever. So I like that. Um, Again, that might be more of a personal preference than anything, but you know, confidants. I like that. I like that concept. So let's see, who's next? Someone else that you want to have, and I feel like this is me as a friend. You want to have your realists, or the ones who kind of push you to do better, because these are the ones who actually care about you, and they might be a little aggressive in how they do it, but they care about you deeply. Like for me, I know I call out like one of my boys, like, I'll call him out, but it's not because I call him out because I don't like him. I call him out because I love him, and it's like, yo, bro, like, you're fucking up. Excuse my language. But, you're making this decision. I don't think it's the right decision. Again, you can do whatever you want because it's your life, but I'm just letting you know how I perceive it. Like if I think you should make an adjustment here. I don't think you should necessarily do it like this. I think you should do it like that. And again, people say it's, oh, like you're being rude or you're being mean. No, I'm being passionate. Like I care about you so much, and I'm not going to beat around the bush to like try to tell you what I think you're doing wrong. I'm going to tell you what you're doing wrong because I care about you. But again, I'm not like that with everybody. I'm only like that with the ones who I feel comfortable with and have established that bond with, to be completely honest. So, yeah, your realists, man, those are some of the best people to have around you. I will say that. So someone else that you want to have around you, you want to have people who are emotionally intelligent. You want to have people who are able to say, oh, yeah, my bad. Who know when they're wrong, right? Because those are the kind of people you can learn from. I know I've grown to become that way. Like, I can get called out on something and be like, oh, yeah, you're right. And I feel like I'm very in tune with my emotions. Like, I still have a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. Far from it. But I know what entails being emotionally intelligent. You have to be able to put your own pride aside and sacrifice and do things that you might not want to, in terms of like compromising with someone else. You might have to compromise in order to keep a relationship, which is, again, that could be a little dicey because it's like, you don't want to sacrifice whatever. But if you care about the person enough, you'll make a compromise. That's how I feel. So it all depends on like how much do you genuinely care, which leads into my next point, because this is something that I am very, like, I'm planting my flag here because, man, I don't like people around me who hold grudges or count favors, because those are the people who hold it over your head and try to throw it back in your face later. If you are like that, please stay away from me. Stay the hell away from me. I don't like that. Because for me, I will say, like, I forgive people. I don't forget, but I forgive people. I'm like, man, I don't need to be upset with you over something that happened years ago or like a while ago. Like, I don't need to be upset with you over that. I'll distance myself, but I'm not going to hold it over your head and be like, oh, well, yeah, you did this that one time. No, that's corny, bro. That's corny as hell. Like, what? That's corny. So, and counting favors, like, for me, if I do something, I'm doing it because I genuinely care, and I don't need to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I did this for you. Can you do this for me? No. I do stuff because I want to, because I love you or because I care about you. That's why I'm doing it. If I didn't care about you, I would not be doing it. I promise you that. So it's as simple as that. And, I feel like that's an underrated thing because, a lot of people now, they kind of like if you tell them no, they'll be like, oh, you don't remember when for me, that's weirdo activity, as the kids say. Nah, but like, you're that bothered to where you have to bring up something old that I said no? Like, I'm allowed to say no. You know that, right? So what I don't understand is like why people do that, because even if it's like if someone does it and then afterwards they're like, oh no, I'm just joking. But are you though? Because that joke seemed like it was a little loaded, right? Like it seems like there was some hidden motive or hidden message behind that. And nah, I'm good on that. So I don't know. I watch stuff like that very closely because it's like, if you're like this with me, you're probably like this with everybody else. And again, I know that is coming. If I say no or like I don't want to do something or we kind of get into it, you're gonna bring that thing up, and it's like, all right. And if that ever happens to me, oh my God, I'll leave so fast, quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't do that to me. Don't do that, because now you're making an ass out of yourself, and you just lost me as a person in your corner because you wanted to be corny. But again, that's my preference. So, I don't know. That's what I prefer to do. I can't speak for anybody else. I can't tell anybody else what to do, but that's how I feel about it. So, yeah, I think, just kind of like really take some time and reflect on who you have around you and really be aware of, what's going on, because these are some of the most important things, and these are the people that you want to have around you or not have around you in order for you to reach a life of peace and balance, so that you're not stressing or worrying about how they feel about you. Like, you should know where you stand with everybody. If you don't know where you stand with them, stop fucking with them. Like, if you have to wonder, oh, like, does this, stop it. Let them go, because you don't need them. People who genuinely care about you will let you know how they feel about you on a regular basis. Not even on a regular basis, but they'll show it through their actions. So, yeah, if you have to wish and wonder and, oh, well, maybe if I let them go. Let them go. It's not worth it, because that just brings more stress for you, unnecessary stress, I might add. So just be mindful of that. Really take into account who you have around you, who you're around. By Meek Mill. Who's around you? All right. So thank you guys for tuning in to Don Talk Podcast. I appreciate you guys. As you know, it's Don season. Let's get it!
I know you want to spend some time with me. I know you want to take this ride with me. Please, please. I know you want to spend some time.